Ladies and gentlemen, I came this morning to share with you what you may already know, but also came here to ask you, to request you and ask you and appeal to you to become our mouthpieces out there to inform the public generally on issues of fire safety, fire prevention, and so on. But I'll begin by saying that we all know that when fire goes out of hand and when it's not wanted at that material time, it becomes definitely an enemy. And that any fire that breaks out in a home or in a business premise, in a shop, in a car, in a factory, in an institution, name it, will always leave behind a trail of destruction. It will always leave behind a scar whenever it occurs, however short it may take, short time it may take. It will always leave behind a scar. That's why if you one day accidentally probably started a fire on a curtain in your house, within a matter of 2 minutes, you will see a big scar in form of a destruction on that very curtain. And if you are lucky or unlucky, you'd see the whole house being in flames. The other sweeping statement that I can make, just to prepare the ground, is that there is not a single building or installation or factory or structure or engineering plant or motor vehicle or motorcycle or hovercraft or aeroplane that is occupied by people, where an activity by people takes place, that is 100% immune to a fire. That is to say that fire can strike and occur anywhere, even where we don't expect it, you least expect it. That's why you have ever heard of a fire at Buckingham Palace. That is a facility that's highly protected, with all systems meant to prevent it in place, but it still strikes. That's why you've heard of instances where fire has struck a cathedral, a historical cathedral in Paris, Notre Dame Cathedral, causing massive devastation. And you'd ask yourself, a century-old cathedral, with all the detection, with all the automatic fire suppression systems, and with all the care, how does it strike? But yes, fire strikes. It means that fire does not respect status, it doesn't respect the beauty of a facility, the beauty of a car, or the cost of it. It will not respect an expensive yacht or ship. Neither will it respect an aeroplane, however expensive or big or sophisticated it may be. Nor will it respect and fear a castle or an apartment or an office block. It therefore means that you and me and all of us have to be conscious about fire, and therefore have to put in place safety precautions to prevent it from occurring, because the aim is really to prevent it from occurring. We should work and gear towards that, but not to respond when it has already occurred, because once it occurs, it will always leave behind a mark which is not the best, which is which can never be sweet. It can never be, a mark left behind by fire can never be sweet. It's always a bad thing. We have just gone through a challenging period in our country. Basically, December to March has not been the best in terms of fire, because I've registered quite a number of fire outbreaks in various places, many in schools, but also many in homes, and that's where the majority are. Many in temporary structures, wood workshops, timber yards, markets, kiosks, roadside business stands, name them. But also had registered fires in the plantations, owing to the high temperatures we've been experiencing due to the dryness, the dry conditions which all of us have been experiencing, and also owing to the winter conditions that have been prevailing. As you do know, a combination of the three work closely to make the vulnerability of certain facilities to fire. They combine to make it possible for fires to occur. And that's why in the dry season, more fire outbreaks are registered during the wet season. High temperatures, winter conditions, and the dryness. That's it. Those conditions are not only responsible for fires in Uganda, but also elsewhere in the world. They will tell you that during summer conditions, you get increased number of fire incidents occurring. That's why sometimes you see during summer, Arizona, California, and others suffer from devastating fires that sometimes even go out of hand and claim lives. In summers, you get fires ravaging Australia, fires ravaging Cape Town, South Africa, fires ravaging Portugal and other places. Summer, they're always not the best months and periods when it comes to fire outbreaks and safety. So we are not in any way exception. And that's why we've had quite a number of them. So I think this leads me to the point of what should we do to prevent fires from occurring in our respective places, but especially in homes. It's basically knowing what could easily result into a fire or start a fire, then knocking it off. That's okay, number one. I will not leave my flat iron on an ironing board plugged in a socket when switched on and attended to. It's a very good safety precaution. Many fires have resulted from such that I will not leave children to play with. I will not leave my 7-year-old, 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds